Hello and welcome to the Real Joy Project. I'm Shelby and I'm here with my co-host Jenny.
Good morning, everybody.
And we are super excited for this episode. Today we're going to talk about how we started the Real Joy Project, all of the things that have come about over the last year. We have reached our 1 year mark. We're coming up on 1 year in this month of June, so we're super excited. But we're going to share where we started out, the conversation we initially had about the Real Joy Project, and all of the really great things that we've been doing and sharing with all of you ladies.
I'm so excited for this conversation, and I can't even believe it's been a year since we had that conversation. And yeah, we're coming up on that here in about a week, I think now is when that conversation happened. But it's just crazy all the things that have happened this past year. So we guys hope you enjoy this episode and enjoy being here with us. And just first of all, thank you all for being here, being in the Real Joy Project, and just helping us guide the way. You guys have given us some good ideas along the way, and we appreciate your support. And whether you're listening to our podcast or you're following our social media pages, or and we'll talk about the other things we've been doing, but just thank you for being here with us.
Yes, thank you so much. I remember that first conversation we had, Jenny, and just sitting here today a year later with you, it's incredible the amount of support that we've got from other women. I know you and I spoke on the phone and we just were like, hey, here's this idea, but I don't really know what it is going to look like. I don't know what it should be. And just to sit here and talk about it today is it's just so cool and such an awesome opportunity.
Yeah, because that's exactly how it started too. Is like the business that I was in at the time was coming to a close. They were closing their doors, and Shelby knew how much Community of Women meant to me, and so she called me. She messaged me one day, and she's like, "I have this idea, and I don't even really know what it looks like, but I know I want to do it with you. And will you get on the phone and talk about this with me?" And that's how it all got started. So I think by the end of that conversation, we knew we wanted a community for women. We wanted a place that could talk about wellness, whether that was like physical or mental, our mental well-beings. We wanted a place that women felt connected and welcome, and that we could share stories that others related to. Because I remember you and I have talked so much about learning from each other. You're in a generation right now with you have a toddler at home, and I have a 17 and 19-year-old at home. So we were in that like different stages of lives, but I learned so much from Shelby, and I hope she learned some things from me. And
Oh, yes, yes.
and we talked about how much the different generations can help each other versus judging each other, not just generations, but women in general, like how sometimes you can feel judged on being a mom and the decisions you're making and the things you're doing and just being a woman and a human. And we just wanted a space where we could talk about the hard things that are going in life, but also talk about how we can find joy in those moments and all those different seasons and all the different seasons of our lives and generations, and support each other through that. I think that was kind of our main goal when we first started talking. Don't Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know you had mentioned you were kind of closing that chapter in a job situation. And I was also at a very transitional stage in my life too, becoming a first-time mom, living in a new area. I didn't really have any friends at the time, let alone mom friends who were going through the same thing as me. And I absolutely have learned so much things in motherhood from you, Jenny. But I was really craving that connection just with other women to share real and raw situations and stories and just build that connection with other people who understand what you're going through and they just get it.
Mhm.
And so it just, I can't believe how it went from kind of a simple conversation and has turned into what it is now today with a whole community of women on our Facebook, our Instagram, I mean, all of the places. We now have our podcast that started out as Facebook Lives, which I know you ran a an amazing women's community on Facebook. So I know reaching out to you was one of those reasons too. I was like, Jenny knows how to connect with women and what to do on social media and such. So, um, do you want to share a little bit how we've kind of transitioned from the Facebook lives, like what our goal was with just like coffee chats and kind of where we're at now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and we just, again, we just knew we wanted to have a community of women that didn't feel alone. And it's like, because how many times in our lives do we feel alone in situations we're going through? And I think just knowing that other people are going through something that's similar can really help us out. And so that conversation turned into, okay, let's start a group. And we started a private Facebook group at first. That was like what we started with. And a lot of you joined that group, and we were so excited that it was growing. And then we would go live. And when you look back at some of our first lives, like we didn't know what we were doing. We still are learning. I mean, we still have a lot of learning to do, but yes, we kept trying to like have conversations together. And there were times we had to start 3 times because we couldn't all get on at the same time, or our heads were missing on the screen, or all the things. But the conversation still continued, and these conversations came through. And even now, we try to remember that even if a video is grainy or a little blurry, it's like it's the conversation, it's the meaning behind the messages that we hope is what's really coming through as
Yes.
we learn to figure all of that out. So that's how we started, and then we decided to start using YouTube because we were able to upload the videos a little bit easier that way, and then we could share links that everybody could see, and they weren't just in the private group. And so it's definitely been a lot of learning, and like I said, we're still learning. And now we have our public Instagram group and Facebook group, and so if you're not following those, please do, because those are just kind of where we keep you up to date on the conversations we're having and what's going on in our lives, and just different ways that like to share joy. I like just share daily little things that are happening in our lives, because a lot of times it's not about the great big things. It's about the everyday moments that really are what's important. And I think that's kind of how we came up with the Real Joy Project. We were throwing different things around, and that name came out, and we were both like, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's it, the Real Joy Project. And it's not about being happy go lucky all the time. It's about finding joy in everyday life. And so that's kind of how we got to where we are today. We are looking at some things that we're trying to learn right now about, like how we can get our podcast over on Spotify. And so we're working on that in the background in between our mom lives and our other business lives. So stay tuned for that, because hopefully that stuff will be happening soon. And so yeah, so that's kind of where the technical side of things and the background and the groups went over the past year. Do you have anything to add to that, Shelby?
I mean, we have grown so much. I think back to doing a few of our coffee chats. Like, I'm holding my coffee thermos, and my daughter was like playing in the background, and we're like, this is real motherhood, at its finest. And some of those episodes, they were just great. We had some special guests come on. I know initially it was just you and I having conversations back and forth, kind of like catching up with a girlfriend over a cup of
Yes.
coffee. And that's really the vibe that we have continued even into our YouTube chats here is it's super casual. Jenny and I meet for a few minutes before we start recording, and it's just
Turn it.
natural conversation. Whatever comes out, comes out, and whatever we feel like talking about. I know a couple of times we've said, okay, we got to start recording because we're starting to say really good stuff that needs to be out there. But I just looking back at all of our growth, it's just been fun, and
Yeah.
it kind of makes me giggle. We're thinking about doing a couple like throwback episodes and reels on our social media, so watch for those. But just checking out some of those older episodes, I'm like, oh my gosh, look at us go! We're doing all the the cool, fun things.
Yeah, it's been a really fun year. And like you mentioned, the guests that we had on. And so we've had a few different guests come on and talk about was your friend Marley was that her name?
Marty.
Marty.
Yep.
Marty came on. Marty was so fun, and we talked about adult friendships. That's an amazing episode. And so I recommend if you guys didn't listen to that one, just go to the YouTube channel and look at for adult friendships or friendships through adults. But that was such a good conversation, and she had so much insight and things that I had never even thought of before, but just different ways to meet women and what do those relationships look like. And that was a good conversation. We just had Peggy on not too long ago.
Our
When
number one fan.
our number one fan, Miss Peggy, we were talking about expectations in motherhood, and it was right before Mother's Day, but we talked way beyond Mother's Day, just like expectations of in general of motherhood. And Mary came on, and Mary's spreading joy, but she just has like an artistic, creative way of spreading joy in a small way that is reaching all the way across the country, which is super amazing. And we had Nikki on for quite some time. We had her on for several weeks, and Nikki had joined us as a co-host, and she's now gone back to her other job, has really taken off and growing, so she's working on that again. But you will see her pop up again as a guest in the future. Lots of great conversations with Nikki while she was here. We talked about the holiday over the holidays, the
Yep.
expectations of the holidays, and like how to enjoy them and let go of some of the little things that we just think we have to do. I thought those were some of my favorite conversations was around the holidays because I think that is something that all women feel a lot of pressure during.
And especially that joy to feel or pressure to feel joy only
Mhm.
during the holidays. You think of the Hallmark movies and everybody sending out their perfect Christmas cards and just
Yeah,
that expectation of like it's supposed to be the happiest time of year. And not always is it like that, but there still is opportunity to find some joy in the smallest parts of that too.
I love, love, love that you just brought up the pressure to feel joy because that is, we could have, maybe that needs to be a future episode, like
I
again,
think
like,
so.
because that's like a huge thing. And then you think, well, if I'm not happy, there's something wrong with me if I'm not happy at every moment, like that's, no, but the pressure to feel joy. Not even in the background of what we do, there's moments, we had an episode not too long ago that we had a whole technical issue that I think we spent like 5, 6, 7 hours trying to edit it to get it back out. There was a few moments that weren't joyful in that. However, it was totally worth it to get it done and get through it. But that's part of just that real life can be related the same way.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
We're
Um, Speaking of previous episodes, I think my favorite that we did was our hormone series.
yes.
We had Megan come on and talk about perimenopause and menopause, and I know you had listened to her speak in person
Yes.
previously, but man, all the information she provided on there, it was just like, wow. You talk about she just shared everything from like women not feeling like themselves and what hormones responsible for what and advocating for yourself and we had my friend Brittany come on and talk about hormones and gut health and just lifestyle changes that impact your hormones. And then I'm drawing a blank on the third.
Cassie. Cassie.
Cassie,
Yes.
yeah, she came on and spoke about advocating for your health, and hers was just an extremely powerful episode as well. So, if there is one as a female, I would go back and listen to those three episodes without a doubt. There's
Yeah.
so much information packed into all of those, but all three women are just real and honest and helpful and
So
I
knowledgeable.
yes, yeah, yeah. So, I mean, go back. You don't have to listen to any of the episodes that we've put out in a certain order or anything, but if there's one that kind of speaks to you, go ahead and give it a listen. But yeah, those three just
They
they
were so
were
good.
they were so good. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm glad that you brought that up. We did make on YouTube, we did make a playlist just for those hormone episodes. And there was one, do you remember, Shelby, you and I did like one of our very first episodes, you and I sat and talked about our own our own hormone stories, and like what we were struggling with, and the some of the help that we found, but the things that we were struggling with. And then that kind of led us into a couple months later bringing some of these women who've helped us through some of this, to come on and talk. Those episodes were very powerful, and I think I hope that we helped some people just make some connections, or and then I hope that some of you were able to find people in your areas to help you, then that you could trust to talk about that. But definitely go listen to those conversations. Those were so good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, beyond the podcast, we've kind of done a lot of stuff. We've
Hmm.
got, so before we hopped on, I was like, I'm gonna write everything down because if not, I'm gonna like forget something. But Jenny spoke already on our social media. We started with our Facebook private group. We now have an official Facebook page. We have an Instagram page, our YouTube channel. We have a Shopify account. We created some really cool and cute things. I think the Mother's Day exclusive line was my absolute favorite.
Mhm.
But we have some fun summer items that are still out and available right now on our Shopify account. Um, but we got to speak at Nikki's girlfriend getaway that she hosted in Medora. That was that was kind of the highlight of my year. I think that was my favorite thing. It's funny, I don't enjoy public speaking or anything like that. And I remember telling you, well, I think I want to do a podcast. I'm like, okay, I want to do something that is totally scary. I don't actually enjoy doing, but I want to do a podcast. And obviously, that's what the coffee chats turned into. But it was fun to be brave and get up and speak at the girlfriend getaway and just share with other women in person about the Real Joy Project. So that was really cool. And then I don't know if you want to share a little bit about our holiday market vendor event that we did too.
Yeah. But first I was going to comment on when we got to get together at the girlfriend getaway was so fun. It was the first time Nikki and Shelby had met in
Oh,
person.
yeah.
And I had not seen you in a couple years, probably in person. I
Yeah.
mean, and so it was super cool because for those that don't know, Shelby lives in Texas and I live in North Dakota. And so we're definitely, you couldn't get much further apart in
Yeah.
the United States. But it's so cool that we get to stay in touch because she used to live close to me. And so the fact that we got to get together and do an in-person event, and at a women's getaway for the weekend, and there were all kinds of different speakers that weekend, and it was really an honor to be there and to get to be there. And so I don't know, I really hope that someday, because I'm the same as you, it's like that puts me outside of my comfort zone, but I
Yeah.
hope that someday we get to find another event like that we get to be a part of, and I think that would just be a lot of fun. So yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, another thing we did was in the fall, like late fall, we did a holiday vendor event, and we brought in women, self-entrepreneurs, or women who own their own businesses, small businesses, to come into our group, and we had them share the things that they do. And some of them were wellness, and some of them were home type items, or I'm just trying to remember all the things we had. Um, Oh man, we had so many different women there, and they were sharing the items that they share in their daily lives and that they love, and that was a lot of fun. I think a lot of people did some Christmas shopping during that,
Yeah.
and they were to support those businesses. Appreciate all that you did to support their businesses, but that was a lot of fun to have them on, and just gave us a little bit of a different event and brought some diversity to the event and some new people, and I really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that one was really cool. I know we had um, just kind of talked like how can we support other women beyond, our conversations and because we're both small business owners as well. So I know you can just appreciate somebody acknowledging your work and taking the time and allowing you to share on a platform too like that. I know we got a lot of positive feedback afterwards from vendors saying that they wanted to participate again and do that again. So hopefully by the end of this year, which this year needs to slow down, the fact that it's the middle of June already is crazy. But I am really hopeful that we do that holiday market event again on our Facebook. I don't. I don't know if we'll do it in our Facebook group or our Facebook page. I guess we'll have to kind of visit about that. But
Yeah.
it was hosted on Facebook last year. So yeah, stay tuned and see what other kind of fun stuff we do like that.
We come up with. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's how it's kind of been is we do things and then it's just like an idea sparks and sometimes we take off on it right away. Sometimes we process it a little bit, figure it out. Other times we jump right in.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I think what are you most looking forward to in the next year, Shelby?
I think I think just the growth because that you and I not only personally are going to do and be able to share with other women, but just I just want to make this as big as possible. And even if it affects one woman out there, that's really all that matters to me. Um, Gosh, you put me on the spot here, and
I
I feel like I
did.
should have like a really good response.
Yeah, but this
I
is
don't-
real. Then it makes it's more real. It's raw because I put you on the spot.
I think I'm just excited for the unknown. Like you said, we kind of just get these ideas and run with it. And that's how we started in the first place. We kind of had this basic idea and it has grown so much already. So I think I'm just excited for what's to come. What else could we possibly do? The what if and the what else and what can be. Um, I don't know about you. I'm still very excited and very passionate about the Real Joy Project. I feel like this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I want to be doing. So I think anything that we set our minds to, we are absolutely gonna do it.
I love that. I love that. I too. I just look forward and I look forward to the new women we'll meet along the way. And it's just so great when we have an episode and somebody messages us afterwards. And it's like it just really warms, like warms my heart. And I know it does you too, Shelby. It's like, oh, it's like just feels good when somebody else relates to what you're going through
Mhm.
and sends us a message afterwards. It's just a wonderful feeling. And so yeah, I'm looking forward to that too. Just the unknown of like, let's see what's next. Let's see what comes up. What conversations are we going to have? We love when you guys share ideas with us for
Mhm.
conversations. We have a list going. And it's fun to see like some of those have been asked for more than once. And so then we know like, okay, this one we need to like lean into. What new guests we're going to have on. Like, I can't wait to
Yes.
see like who's going to come on as a guest, all of those things. So I'm going to throw another question at you. Um,
Okay.
So if you looked at the past year yourself, and I want those that are listening to think about this too, if you've been listening to us, what what is one thing do you think, Shelby, that you've grown in the past year that the Real Joy Project helped you with?
I think the first thing that popped in my head when you asked that was not feeling guilty about resting and taking time for myself. Um, just finding real joy and happiness in slowing down and just taking a minute for myself and not feeling that guilt or feeling like I need to be doing 17 things all at once. Um, and just being okay and content with, just taking that, I know I'll steal your word, but just taking a pause and genuinely being okay with that and being happy in that moment.
Mhm. I love that. And I've seen that growth in you. Like I've seen where you can truly say, no, I'm not going to do that right now because I am going to the pool with my daughter or, or even just time to yourself. Like your
Yeah.
husband, Justin and Lakin are off doing something and I'm going to go take a bath or I'm going to go for a walk by myself. And I can see that that has helped you tremendously just as a person, you're just taking care of yourself and it has helped you as a mom and a wife. So I'm proud of you for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, there's a lot more that goes on behind the scenes, right? Like I don't just decide, okay, I'm gonna sit on the couch and drink my coffee in peace and be okay with that. I think we've talked about this on other episodes too, letting go of those really high, unrealistic expectations of trying to make everything perfect and not asking for help when I need it. That was a huge thing for me that I've worked on throughout the year. And I know I've learned a lot from you, and I've had other women reach out to me too, but just being able to, voice when I need help with something. And we've even had moments working together on the Real Joy project where we've had to like be brutally honest with one another and be like, I got a lot going on right now. Like, and the other person's had to step up and do things. And we've both had to be like, you know what? We both have a lot going on right now. Let's just do what we can and step back to.
Yeah.
Um, but that was a huge thing as a mom, being able to communicate that to my husband when just my needs, and telling him, hey, I need rest, and I don't know what that looks like, but I need it. I've been craving it, and it has helped me be a better mom and a better wife and better friend, and all sorts of things. But um, yeah, I think just taking that pressure off
Yeah.
myself. And yeah, how about
Yeah.
you?
I think for me, it has been learning to I love to help other people shine. And and in my other business, I help small businesses shine and like I help with some of their marketing. But this has allowed me to help just like with women. Like I love to help others shine. But I think what has helped me this past year is um, learning how to shine in my true self and like be true to myself and what I want and and allowing myself to have some of those things. I think that is something I always feel guilty. There's always that guilt as a woman of like, well, that would be great, but that's not possible or not going to happen. And I have some things going on in the background right now that are happening that I've never dreamt would happen. That are like, it's kind of humbling me, and at the same time, I'm like, no, I'm so excited, and so I think just allowing myself the permission to shine and to admit the things I want to happen in my life and to be open and to speak up more. I would say, and here we are speaking on a, podcast, but I think the moves of making these being brave, just getting brave enough, like you said, oh my gosh, we're gonna like talk to people, like
Yeah.
but I think by getting on these conversations and talking to you and the other guests we've had, it just opens it up to go like, man, I'm not the only one thinking this. And so I'm going to speak about it because it is helping other people go, me too, me too. And I'm like, oh, me too, me too. And so
Yeah.
I think that's probably the way I've grown the most over the past year.
I have definitely seen that, and you absolutely deserve to shine too. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm almost feel emotional like talking about that.
I had the goosebumps earlier. I can't remember what exactly we were talking about, but I was like, oh my gosh, like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy to me that it's been a year. It's been a year. You could say that in a lot of ways, like it's been a year, but it's also been a year. Like
Yes, yeah.
and just it's just cool. And I just want to like talk about like we've joked a little bit about sometimes about finding some bloopers that we could share, like of the things in the background. But like even today, I'm out of town. I'm out of town because my daughter has some things going on here. So I'm staying at my sister-in-law's place. So shout out to her for allowing me to use her background today. But I think it took us 10, 15 minutes for me to move around and my phone's dying, of course. I needed an outlet and find the spot that I could be in that was the right lighting and my phone's not tipping over. I can't touch my phone or it might tip over right now. But like, those little tiny things that we laugh about them as we're getting set up. And of course, we know that there's a lot of people out there that are sharing their podcast and that are probably a lot more finesse than we are. But we really do want to just be real and we do want to improve as we're learning. But we also don't want to. There's been times that I even messaged Shelby this morning, just being real. Like, I have this reel I want to post from a past video, but I'm like, it's kind of blurry. And she's like, let's post it. It's real. That's what we were. And we are the real Joy Project. And so we have to remind ourselves that sometimes, like we're not trying to be perfect. We don't, that's not the people we want to represent. We want to represent what's really happening, what's going on in our lives.
Yeah, and I think that's what people want now too. You've talked in previous episodes about like the Pinterest perfect life. Like you grew up in, you were a mom through like the Pinterest era of perfect designed homes and the perfect crafts and Christmas cards and all of that. And that's not
That's not
anymore.
real.
People
Yeah,
are going to call your bluff on that, and that's not what they want to see. And um, that's not who we are either.
right.
No, we
Yep.
came on here to be our real, authentic selves. And yeah, I mean,
Yep.
I'm sitting at my desk in our bedroom because I can't use our office. I swear if I am like out in the like common area of our house and my daughter, I swear my daughter can like sense that I am out there and she'll wake up from nap.
Mhm.
So being in the office space like just wasn't an option. So I mean, we don't have a fancy setup or anything. Like this is real life here, recording from a bedroom, recording from, while you're out of town. And there were episodes where I was sitting upstairs in my daughter's playroom and drinking my coffee and
Yes.
of like pausing and being like, I'll be right back. You and Nikki keep talking because
Yeah.
I gotta go change a diaper really quick. Um,
Exactly. Oh, my
yeah.
pants don't even match my shirt right now. But when we got on, I had a shirt with like a really loud like picture on the front, and I'm like, that's kind of distracting. So went to change. But yeah, I think I just feel like if all of us become more vulnerable, then it just opens up conversations, you know?
Yeah.
If we're all pretending and holding it inside, every one of us is doing, if we're all doing that as a society of women, it's like we're all like inside secretly sad, and like so much weight on that versus like, no, let's just be real. Let's just be real.
Yeah. It's more fun that way too. Like, why
Exactly.
would you want to pretend to not be who you are?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we go today?
I don't know. I'm just excited to see what's to come,
Yep.
honestly. Yeah. I think we've come a long ways. We appreciate everybody who's followed along with us and supported us. And Jenny mentioned it earlier. Please send your ideas our way. Like, we not only created the Real Joy Project for ourselves, but we really created it for all women out there. So the community, all are welcome. You belong here. So share your thoughts with us. We love to hear from you. So reach out. Tell your friends about our pages. Some people have Facebook, some have Instagram. YouTube's really easy to listen to for free. But tell your friends about us, and we hope you stick around for another year.
I agree. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. So, thank you for being here with us. And if you want to learn more about the different platforms we're on or to check out some of our swag, our Real Joy projects for the summer, yeah, we have some fun beach bags and towels and tank tops and t-shirts. And just go to the realjoyproject.com and you can find all of our links through there for our work, our Facebook and YouTube and Shopify and all the fun things. But here on YouTube, we would love, love, love if you took a minute to click the little subscribe button, because what that does is then when we have future episodes, you might get a notification that we had another episode pop up. And just like the videos or comment below, just to let us know you're here. And yeah, we appreciate you all so, so much. And we are wishing you joy in your week. And remember, if it's like a crazy bit week and you're struggling to find some joy, just look for the smallest moments. Maybe a song that comes on the radio or something that brings you a happy memory. Those little moments are hiding in there. So, yeah. All right. Well, thanks everybody and have a great rest of your week, and we'll be back soon.
Yep. Bye, Jenny.